Hey guys, Kev here, and I just had a great idea. Why don't I do the Battle of the Little Flickers? So, I had a couple ideas, right? First, I had the Ace Rib and the F5 together, but size-wise, they don't really compare. This is kind of a fifth pocket knife. This could be a primary for some people. And a backup to other people, I also have the Artisan Arian here, which is a good size comparison to these. But I just got this. I haven't even reviewed it yet, and that's not fair. But these two would be a very good battle at some point, and I probably will do that. There are other options in this size range I could pull out. The Stinger is one. So, anyway, I just wanted to kind of preface... I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I wanted to do this because they both are middle finger flick knives that I love. They're both about the same size, around a 3-inch blade. They both have a choil. They both have very good steel in terms of M390. They're both OEM by a very good Chinese OEM, QSP Riyot. But they also have differences in fact that one is more expensive, even though it's not made by Riyot. Interesting. One has more deployment methods. One is micarta, one is titanium. Differences, right? So I just thought it would be a cool battle. So I did not have time to do a kind of face pre kind of battle thing that I like to do, but I hope you guys are okay with that. So what do you think? Are you ready to find out who the Little Flicker King is in my collection? Is it the F5.5, the mighty Urban EDC Supply exclusive Voxnez design? One of the best ergonomic designers of our generation. With micarta scales and M390, a deep carry clip, and manufactured by my favorite OEM, Riyot? Or will it be the newcomer, the contender, the boutique brand king at the moment, the EMP EDC Nimble with titanium scales and M390, a fidgeter's dream come true, OEM'd by QSP? We shall see. Stay tuned. Are you ready to rumble? All right. So, here are your categories. I'm going to take a sip of something. And it ain't alcohol, trust me. I know you're probably thinking I was drinking, but anyway. Yeah, so I changed it up a little bit. I don't even know what my old list looked like. I just want to do it a little differently. I'm sure I probably have an even number again, but I just thought of these. So price, perceived value, aesthetics, ergos, cutting, carry, sounds, action, fit and finish, and leftability. This is one I should have had in there all along. I don't know if I did. How does it function for a lefty? That's super important to me in my channel. So should have always had that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. God damn it. Is there anything else? Fit and finish. Fit and finish. Fit and finish is a good... Oh, materials. Aha! I knew I was missing one. Usually start with that, don't I? Okay, here we go, guys. Let's start it off with price. So, hold on, I'll put this like right here so I can see it. Price. Urban EDC Supply exclusive box F5.5. In micarta, $200. $200. Now, they do have a titanium version, which is more comparable to this. So, I'm wondering how I should go about this. You know what I mean? Because that one is $250, and the carbon fiber one is $275. This right here, when I bought it, was $250. Retail, though, is like $280. So I think I got to give the price to the F5 regardless, because titanium would be equal, right? With M390, 250. So price goes to the F5.5. So let's just skip to materials because, it should be up here. Again, titanium liner lock with M390 and micarta scales, ball bearings. Titanium frag pattern milled. Obviously, it's a frame lock, titanium clip, and M390 steel as well, right? So, titanium. I'd say being a full frame lock of titanium with that frag pattern, materials goes to the Nimble, in my opinion, anyway. Oh, wait, this is my opinion, you idiot. Perceived value. So $280, we'll call it, for this guy, right? And this one's $200. $250 for titanium, $275 for carbon fiber. These being made by Riot, that $200 price tag is awesome. I mean, it literally was like, what? They're selling those for $200? What the hell? Riot made those? What the? This is $280 made by QSP. They freaking nailed it on this knife, but it's not as much of like a, oh yeah, that's a great deal, right? This is like a, oh, it's $280. That's a lot, right? And I love this knife, so don't take it that way, but this has the perceived value, I would say. So F5, put zeros here. F5's winning. Aesthetics. Man, interesting. So, ooh, this is hard. Shit. So, I love this spear point blade. The frag pattern, man. That frag pattern is out of this world. I love the gold accents. I know some people don't. I do actually have multiple versions of both of these. So I have a carbon fiber one of these that I don't have currently in the collection, or it's out on loan. And then I have the Japanese Siga pattern one on pre-order. Now that one would have a very good comparison to a frag pattern. I also have a frag pattern reverse tuxedo one that I just got, which honestly even better looking, to be honest. I think I love the sheep's foot blade, and I love the simple kind of design, right? It's a Vox, and I really like his design language, but frag pattern. I mean, I don't know. I like the little more detail around the cutout there, and just that it has a lock side frag pattern, and that clip is a little more detailed. It just looks better, I think. So I'm going to go with the Nimble. Ergos. So, guys, this is where we're going to get into the weeds a little bit. The Nimble, man, you hold it back here, it's okay. My hand's a little too big for it. I never do that. I hold it up here. And I really, really, really like the Ergos. The jimping is still up far enough that I'm using it when I hold it like this. My only gripe with the Ergos on this knife is that this right here is just wide, right? So there's a gap between my fingers that feels kind of weird. And I kind of like pull back on this to kind of compensate for that. And it feels really good in hand. This is an excellent ergonomic knife. But Jesper is an absolute master of ergonomics. Again, back here, not so great, but it actually is more comfortable than the back grip on this because it doesn't have that kind of point right there. So this actually works, but again, never hold it like that. Always hold it like this. Jimping, again, perfect. Man, they're very close, but because it doesn't have that big gap right here, just fills my hand like perfectly. Just feels fantastic. I will say the clip on the F5 gets me a little bit more right there, but not enough to cause it to lose this category. Ergos are outstanding on the F5 and very, very good on the Nimble. So Ergos, F5. Cutting. Interesting. Okay, so I love the cutting on the Nimble. This M390, at least on my example, is finished extremely well. It is sharp as hell. It does like curly cues when I was cutting with it in the first impressions. 3.1 inch blade. Just, oh man, it's a very, very good cutter. Flat grind or saber grind, whatever you want to call it. The F5. Again, flat grind mostly, almost a full flat, sheep's foot blade. Man, this thing cuts like a dream as well. Both are M390. Both have a very thin edge. I might suspect the Nimble will be a little thinner. I don't know. It's got to be close, right? Let me get some paper, actually. Let's dick around with it. So, F5. Oh, my goodness. Nimble. Dudes, it is so hard to choose. And literally my factor here, look at this. I'm gonna try to do curly cues. I mean, ugh. I mean, they're both so good, guys. But the reason the F5 is going to win this category, there's two reasons. One, the blade shape in terms of what I do, cutting out shipping labels, cardboard, that kind of stuff. I like this blade shape a little bit better for that. And two, the way the choil's designed, I'm right on that edge. See how I'm like covering where that edge starts? So when I go into a cut, I never catch the edge. I never catch that point right there. That I never do this and like stop my cut. I always start with a good edge. On this guy, because of the ergos, the way I hold it back like this, I can catch things more often, right? There is me doing that. Whereas if I get it right, obviously it's cutting just as well. So I have to find reasons to give it to one or the other, and I think those reasons make perfect sense. So the F5.5 is going to win this category. F5 is taking it right now. Carry. So both are right-handed, right-hand knives only. So no lefty love here. Nothing's gonna change my mind there. Deep carry clip, almost to the butt end. This thing carries like a dream. Nothing sticking out, right? Because there's no flipper tab or anything. Nimble carries extremely well. I love this clip. It carries pretty deep. I really have never had an issue carrying this knife. Both are in my back left pocket at all times. But deep carry clip basically wins it. I know it's not as deep as a deep carry clip that goes to the butt, but it's still going to be deeper than the Nimble. And I have to have a reason to give somebody the win. I also prefer kind of a fold-over clip, I think. Yeah, I mean, it's a little thinner on the Nimble, I guess. That would be a positive for it. And obviously, it's very slim and streamlined. I don't have a problem with it. It's just that the deep carry clip kind of just wins it. So, damn. I did not see this coming. I thought the Nimble was going to actually just take off with this somehow, which is astounding. This is a brand new knife, first folding knife designed by somebody. Jesper's been in the game for a long time. But maybe that experience functionally is working out here. Sounds. So, nice slap out. I have been noticing on this model that sometimes when it sucks in, it kind of does that little rattle that I really hate that Kizers do. Kizer liner locks, they kind of just have this cheap rattle sometimes, and this has that sometimes, which sucks. And I think that's just thin titanium liners, right? It's just going to happen with micarta around it, I guess. There's nothing solid around it. But that being said, the opening sound and the close, they both sound fantastic. It has great sounds. But there's just something about the smack out on the Nimble. It has to be the titanium scales and all that. It just has this very satisfying thwack. And no, it doesn't really do anything on the close, but it doesn't have that rattle or anything, and the opening is just so satisfying. So this one goes to the Nimble. Action. Well, that's tough. So detent on the f5.5, I will say, is better because it's a little bit stronger. Now, I shouldn't say better. I should just say stronger and better on the flick. It's better on the middle finger flick. Right-handed, left-handed, whatever you want to call it, right? The closing action is just goddamn near drop shut. I mean, honestly, it is so close. Gillian bearings on this guy. Thumb flick, extremely satisfying. Really, really satisfying. I love the action on this knife. You guys know I can't recommend this knife enough. I have had some F5s where the detent's a little bit too strong, but we're talking about this one, and it's perfect. So action is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it's like 8 out of 10 action. Nimble. Guys, this is the Fidget King. I mean, I can't stress it enough. This is the Fidget King at the moment. It was the Hoback Sumo, but the Nimble has taken over the crowd. Being left-handed helps in this case, and I have to talk about action related to me. I know left-handed is coming up, but having a little bit of pressure on that lock bar adds detent. It adds a little strength to that detent, so I get a very satisfying thwack out. If you do it right-handed, you know, you can have a little bit of this going on. You need to, you know, really give it something. But left-handed, bang, it just flies out. So the middle finger flick is actually possibly more satisfying than it is on the F5. But then you add the thumb flick, which, you know, not that great left-handed. I will say the F5 thumb flick is better, but now I have a flipper. I have a flipper tab, I have a front flipper, I have all the things. And then I also have these. Again, just like the F5, almost drop shut. Like, just look at these small blades, almost dropping shut, right? It's so hard because that reverse flick is money. I mean, it really is. It feels so good. You know, you just break that detent and it goes. And I will say, right-handed, this guy lacks a little bit there. And the thumb flick is fantastic. One of my favorite thumb flicks is the F5. But Fidget King, man, I can't call it the Fidget King and then not give it this category. So I got to give it to the Nimble. Fit and finish. So, dead nuts centered. Dead nuts centered, right? Yes, dead nuts centered. Frag pattern titanium, M390, satin blade with excellent satin finish on it. Bead blasts are very well done, chamfered all around, jimping extremely well done. Scalloping back here is done well. There's just something about this build. There's no movement anywhere. Just is like a bank vault. Look at that. It's just insane. Frame lock. Look at the frag pattern. I mean, honestly, the fit and finish on this knife right here, specifically, well, and the other one I have, they're spot on, guys. QSP has blown me away with this knife. Okay? This is Riot, guys. You know I love Riot more than anybody. And the action is spot on. The jimping is done well. You have those milky grind lines from Riot. Oh, I love their belt set. My favorite belt satin out there. Almost drop shut. dead nut centered, titanium liner lock, great lockup. Again, just like the Nimble, it's just like nothing's going anywhere. It's incredible. They're both finished extremely well. T6, all T8. That is a huge plus in my book to the F5. Really is. So, I want to give it to the Nimble because of this frag pattern, right? And the fit and finish is phenomenal on this knife. But I have taken this knife apart. This one right here I've taken apart at least 15 times. And altogether I've taken F5s apart maybe 100 times at this point. And it is so easy to take apart, put back together, everything lines up, bang, 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 no Loctite needed, nothing, right? But these scales are not finished as well as this frag pattern, man. And I have taken this knife apart a couple times, and it was easy. You just had to be careful with the T6 screw. That was really the only issue, is making sure you don't strip something, right? But it went together, came apart. I took apart the other one as well. I will say on this one, this screw started to give me trouble. The head didn't want to fit in that deep, and so she said, and I was trying to tighten it because it's a spinning barrel thing, and which this has as well, and it was really starting to annoy me, and I was worried I was going to strip these screws out, and I don't know, that bothered me. But that's not the only thing that goes into fit and finish. So it's so close to me, but that frag pattern, man, it keeps coming up. That frag pattern is just insane. I'm going to give it to the Nimble on fit and finish. QSP's getting the point. Wow. Last one, leftability. So, man. Guys, I could not love this knife more left-handed. Yes, I can lock it up right here. There's the spot. Can't be there. Other than that, I can do anything I want left-handed, and I don't have to worry about it, right? Neither of them have a reversible clip, but this is a liner lock, and I can put my finger wherever the goddamn I please. I never have to worry about it, right? So that is very important to me. It has just the hole for deployment, so if I carried this in my left pocket, much less likely to accidentally open than, say, this with a bit of a weaker detent and other opening methods, even though they're very streamlined. Holding it left-handed, very comfortable. Extremely comfortable. I will say that right-hand clip gets me a little bit here. So I really have to battle between that clip in the palm issue or the finger issue and this, not being able to open it in certain situations where I can always open it in this case. So I think I have to give it to the F5 if I'm being fair and honest. And I am. So, F5, 0 for Nimble. So, that's it, guys. Who won? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The F5.5 has won the battle of the little flickers. Wow. Wow. See, I honestly, going in, was thinking, obviously I love both. This is like a channel, like, history knife almost, right? I mean, I got this like right when the channel started, and I was in love with it. It was my knife of the year last year, the titanium one, and I've had like 8 of these, right? I now have had 3 of these. I still have 2, but I had a plain titanium one, and you know what? I think it may have been a bigger. It would have been a bigger beatdown by the F5 had I had the plain titanium and not the frag pattern titanium. But this is what I have, and then again, if I had the Segaha F5, it probably, I don't know. Needless to say, they're obviously both fantastic knives. And I love them both because I was struggling hard there. This was a great battle for me anyway. I don't prefer one over the other, I don't think. I think if I'm thinking fidgety, maybe something a little more like, I don't know, fancy-ish, I guess, I'd go with the Nimble. And if I'm thinking I need something to actually work with, not that I can't with that, but I showed you that blade is excellent. But if I need something to get some stuff done and no frills, kind of just really great ergos, a backup type knife, but still can have fun with it, you know, that's what's so good about the F5 is it's a fantastic knife to work with, yet it just still has that fidgetability to it that's so fun for such a small knife, right? Urban EDC Supply and Riot, and they killed it on this. And so did John with the EMP EDC Nimble. I mean, think about it. First folder design. This knife came out a month ago. Hot on the scene, of course, but still. And it almost beat a legend, in my opinion. My knife of the year last year, right? And guys, this very well could be this year's knife of the year. This year's going to be tough, man. If some of those knives come out that are on pre-order and all this stuff, yeah, this is going to be a real tough knife of the year thing this year for me. And it'll have been a full year of me being on YouTube and having the channel, so it'll be a good one. But anyway, your winner of the little flickers is the F5.5 from Urban EDC Supply. So thank you guys. I really appreciate you indulging me in my bullshit and letting me ramble and rant and rave. So I love you all. I really hope you have a fantastic day, and I will catch you later.